Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Medina is she's with me here in a few minutes, but she's got to go over to her dad's. We are in Tennessee. We left Gulf Shores day before yesterday, and it's tonight is going to be a kind of different night. We've got only one missing person to talk about, but we're going to go over some pretty happy news of what's been going on in the last few.
Hey guys.
Well, it's been going on that the recovery of a lot of kids.
I've been making kimchi and my hands are burning.
Man, that's what I say about that. So anyway, but I do want to bring everybody's attention this girl that is okay.
I'll see you in a little bit.
You're gonna talk over there some. She's gonna put it on her computer. About and missing. This girl. Releases a statement. Now I'm gonna tell you about this girl. Start off with, we're gonna show a couple of videos on her. She's been missing since her mother reported her in December, but the last known pictures of her were in November, and there's talk about her being may have been abducted for human trafficking, and so I'm going to show you a couple of videos on that, and just hang with me here. This is actually right here, her coming off the bus. It should be some volume here with this one. I don't know why there's not, but if it isn't, I'll take it out of here. But it mainly just shows pictures of her coming off the bus there. So anyway, that was pictures of her there, and let's see if I can get a
We've got this update to share in the investigation into a missing 11-year-old from Cornelius. Today, the mother and stepfather of Madalina Kojikari were set to appear in front of a judge to talk about their bonds, but neither hearings happened.
Madalina's mother, Diana Kojikari, and her stepfather, Christopher Palmitter, have been in custody since December 17th. That is where they will stay as the search for Madalina continues. WCNC Charlotte's Chloe Leshner is live at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse. Chloe, what happened in court today?
Hey, Fred. Well, neither hearing happened as we expected it to today. Both Diana Kojikari and Christopher Palmitter did not appear in front of a judge virtually or in person. Instead, the attorneys met privately with the judge and they decided on some changes to the bond conditions. Both Christopher Palmitter and Diana Kojikari are still in custody, facing felony charges of failure to report a missing child. 5 weeks after 11-year-old Madalina Kojikari was last seen publicly, her mother and stepfather will have to hand over their passports. The two will also have to wear an electronic monitor if they bond out. Today's court proceedings, seemingly held in private. Attorney Gary Monty, who is not connected to the case, says this could be for Madalina's safety.
The missing child is paramount, so I suspect the judge was willing to made a decision to forego the public aspect of parts of this hearing in order to discuss and decide upon some bond requirements, the bracelet on the ankle, things like that. And so that's the justification in all likelihood for all of that not happening in the normal fashion.
Madalina was reported missing on December 15th, 3 weeks after her mother, Diana, claims she saw her last. Diana told police she didn't call them earlier because she thought it would cause conflict with her husband. Cornelius police have conducted an intense search and chased 250 leads worldwide, but lost a significant chunk of time in those first 3 weeks where Madalina was not reported missing.
This is a serious case of a child whose parents clearly are not telling us everything they know.
Bond still sits at $200,000 for Christopher Palmiter and $250,000 for Diana Kojakari. Their next court date is set for January 9th. Live in Uptown, Chloe.
Right now at 6, the search for Madalina Kojakari gaining extra firepower, and it's not from police. It has now been 67 days since the 11-year-old was last seen getting off her school bus. And you'll remember the search for her officially didn't start, though, until 3 weeks after that video, because authorities say her mother did not immediately report her missing.
And because of that, police arrested both mother and stepfather and charged them for failing to report a missing child. They remain in custody tonight. The case has gotten a lot of attention online in true crime communities, many trying to find out what happened to Madalina. WCNC Charlotte's Chloe Leshner spoke to a woman who's trying to crack the case herself.
Updates from the Cornelius Police Department have been few and far between. Most of what we've learned in this case has been through the court system, but there is an online community working to learn more about what happened to Madalina. There are far more questions than answers about what happened to Madalina Kojakari after she stepped off of the school bus on November 21st. It's the last time she was seen publicly. Her mother, Diana Kojakari, and stepfather, Christopher Palmiter, were both arrested for taking 3 weeks to report Madalina missing. In the weeks since the investigation started, so-called web sleuths are trying to find some of those answers.
We want to be a voice for them. They don't have a voice. They can't speak out. So we have to have people that are willing to, take that stand. And
Michelle Sutton says she's always had a passion for true crime. She researches missing child cases and shares the facts on her YouTube channel. She's also part of a Facebook page dedicated to finding Madalina.
If we can find that one tip that may say, hey, you need to question them about this, and they go in and that's the one that breaks them, then that's, I don't see the problem.
Officials with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children say most attention on the case can help. They say online forums can cause rumors and theories to spread, but the flyers, billboards, and online posts sharing Madalina's picture and story could elicit tips.
Don't let that information slip by. If the community feels it's important, then report it.
Sutton says their group's main goal is to help find and bring justice for Madalina.
But we still need to keep their faces and their story out if they've not been found. And right now, Madalina still has not been found. She's still out there somewhere. And we're still hoping that we find her and bring her home.
Madalina's mother and stepfather will be back in court on March 2nd. In the studio, Chloe Leshner, WCNC Charlotte.
And that's just a group. That's just a group just like us. Anybody can make a difference. You never know what, you might know something, or, I tell, back when I was in law enforcement, I would tell people that it doesn't matter how big the tip is or what you might have seen, or if you saw a car that didn't belong in a certain neighborhood, or you saw a person walking down the road that you didn't recognize, or if a dog's barking at a certain time of night, especially if you have a crime that becomes popular, please tell the police. And another thing we used to tell people all the time, if you hear something outside your house and you're rummaging around, don't always assume it's a dog or something. Call the police, especially in towns like it's not a huge town. These officers on third shift, they would much rather come out and look around your house, find nothing, than come out to your house and find a crime. I'm going to go over tonight some things, but if you stick around to the end or close to the end tonight, I'm going to ask you a special favor just for me. It's a personal favor, but I'm not going to get into it until we do some of this other stuff. So if you would just hang around, and I'll tell you in a few minutes. We're not going to be very long tonight because we're here tonight in Tennessee, and Medina's over there, and I'm over here at the RV, and we're trying to get some things done with her father and her brother. I wanted to talk about some recent cases where kids and people have been found, and it's been really important to me that the recovery of these missing and trafficked kids. In Pennsylvania, I can't see the whole thing because of this. There's a timeline up here blocking me. So I'm just going to read what I can. Who went missing more than 30 years ago and legally. Oh, yeah. This is a case where a woman had been gone missing from Pennsylvania and declared legally dead, has turned up, be very much alive. She's in a nursing home in Puerto Rico. Patricia Copra, 83 now, was last seen with her family in Pittsburgh on 1992, according to the missing person flyer by the Pennsylvania Emergency Response Center. At the time, she was a well-known street preacher known as the Sparrow, because of her slight build. Her husband, Bob Kopter, reported her missing in 1992, noting it wasn't uncommon for his wife to leave for short periods of time. No doubt he didn't expect his wife's disappearance would remain for 31 years. Said, I come home one night and she's gone. Nobody knew where she was at at the time. Her husband said to a news conference, and this is a picture of her now in the nursing home. And it said police eventually learned of the story of what happened to Patricia after being contacted by an agent from the International Criminal Police Association, Interpol, and a social worker from Puerto Rico who cared for her. What they reported to us was that she came into their care in 1999, then was found in need on the streets of Puerto Rico. Said the deputy chief there. Said through the years that Patricia remained at home care, she refused to details about her private life and where she came from. But at her age and her dementia progressed, she began to share rare snippets of her past life. And it says by last year, social workers at the home had enough information to alert authorities back home about the 83-year-old woman. A DNA test was done and it was confirmed of her true identity. And you know what's weird about this is uh, she acted on a rumor herself, the way I understand it. It says here before her disappearance, Patricia was at a facility briefly after doctors diagnosed her with delusions of grandeur. And a lot of people I know have that, and said that she had signs of schizophrenia. Well, maybe not that. She was released and kept preaching, disappeared, family said. And they said she was concerned that she was going to be institutionalized, uh, and which time she believed that led her to decide to flee the country. But that's just people. If you think about this, if you thought you were going to be institutionalized and put in a funny farm, as they call them, would you stay? If you really thought your husband or whatever was going to put you, because that's happened. I've seen it happen. Their husband or try to get their wife committed, and you can. The only way, there's two ways. Oh, I hope it doesn't start buffing tonight. I thought I had a good signal. You can go voluntary, sign yourself in, but then you can leave anytime you want to. Two, you can get a family member, somebody that loves you. They can have you committed, but they've got to have certain things done. Sorry, Dana. They've got to prove that you're in danger to yourself or to somebody else, or you have going to commit suicide or whatever. Another way is the police. They can actually have you committed in some states. In some states, if you go out and they find you in the middle of, that's for people that have gone completely nuts. They find them out running around naked in the street, or they find them standing up on car, just acting crazy or doing really crazy stuff, and they're afraid that for the public, afraid for they're going to hurt themselves. Then they can, in some states, I'm sorry, I haven't had it buffing any today at all, so it really aggravates me. The Baker Act says the police can lock you up for a matter of it's hours, like 24, 48 hours, 72 hours. In other words, so some doctors can look at you and find out that if you are a danger to yourself or somebody else. Okay, let's now I want to go to the thing that really was exciting to read today, and I'm going to go over a few. We can talk about it if you want to. The problem is I can't see your comments. If I'm showing you this, I can't see your comments. So it's a really it kind of throws me off tonight with Dina not being over here. But I will switch back and forth a time or two after I get through a few of these. Let me thought I deleted that. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, this is where she thing. Okay. All right, El Paso, Texas Homeland Security investigation. The Texas Department of Public Safety and numerous federal agencies, state and local, located 70 missing children as a part of a 3-week operation in West Texas. And these are going to be kind of short because I don't have, I didn't want to go through them. I mean, we could be here all night. It's been really a good, a lot of good news of late about rescuing kids. The Department of Justice, FBI, on Monday announced that federal agents had identified and located 84 minor victims of child sex trafficking and child sexual exploitation crimes, located 37 active missing children during this nationwide campaign, Operation Cross Country. You know, that is just great. It's more than just locating kids that have disappeared. This is actually locating kids that are involved in these sexual child rings and child pornography rings. I mean, you're getting the actual. I mean, they'll turn around and the FBI will get the bad guys too. Believe me, they will. But they're also doing this to saving the kids, and just pulling those kids out of those things is amazing. Police in Aurora, and I would think that would be Aurora, Colorado, at a part of a first of its kind effort to find endangered missing children in Colorado. Yes, it is. Over the course of 2 weeks, investigators recovered 11 children and arrested 1 adult. The Aurora Police Department, working with federal investigators and the U.S. Marshals, my heroes, the children, all between 12 and 17, were considered at risk for sex trafficking or sexual or physical abuse, and or had various medical conditions. Victimization of child sex trafficking, child exploitation, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and medical or mental health conditions. And this might be kids that that might be on the spectrum, you know, whether they had Alzheimer's or Asperger's or whatever. That's easy for them to take advantage of. The FBI, sex and trafficking related crimes have increased in the recent years, and the agency is currently investigating more than 1,800 trafficking cases, including those involving minors. The FBI currently leads 86 child exploitation and human trafficking task forces across the U.S. In 2020, 473 traffickers were arrested. And that is just amazing. That is really amazing. Medina just walked in. Are you going to be able to be here at all?
No, I'm finishing up our supper.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. It's all right. An investigation in Southern California dubbed Operation Lost Angels found 33 missing children in recent weeks including 2 youths found multiple times at commercial sex trafficking locations. Christy Johnson, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI in Los Angeles field office, reveals some details of a 10-day operation on behalf of more than 24 law enforcement agencies that work to identify, locate, and return the missing young people. That is amazing. And all of the names that they have for these task force, they're really, it's pretty good. Nationwide, the U.S. Marshals, my heroes again, announced safe rescue of highly endangered missing children in Indiana over the weekend, a part of Operation Homecoming. There you go. Similar operations in nearby states have led to rescues of 72 children since mid-August. And that was last, of course, since mid-August last year. Before I read this next one, which is kind of an interesting thing, you're right, Beach Pump. Even one child matters. You're absolutely right, and we're just addressing really some big ones, big cases, but even the last one. Now, this next one that I'm going to read and talk about, it is a organization that is private. There's like a bunch of people that don't have any association in the government stuff, but I'm kind of leery about it. They are requesting money, and they do show of some kids being rescued, but this happened about last post on their website or their Facebook was in 2015. So I don't know if they disbanded, but if they did, they need to take down their donation page, because to me, it could be turned into something else. But here's right here. It's AAFLC. No indication that they're still a whole lot of stuff on their Facebook page, but I can't find anything where they're still out there. But I did want to bring that up. FBI rescues more than 200 sex trafficking victims, including 84 children. That's amazing. Amazing. 31 children rescued by authorities in Texas, including 7 teenage victims of sex trafficking. And that, when they talk about sex trafficking, they're talking about forcing kids into prostitution or child pornography, where they photograph them in various type of sexual situations, and they post that stuff on the dark web or sell them between traffickers, which is sick. Another of my heroes again. U.S. Marshals found 39 missing children in Georgia during Operation Not Forgotten. Investigators charged individually. I just read a little bit. Investigators charged individuals of sex offender violations, other related charges. Washington, D.C., the U.S. Marshals Unit Missing Child Unit, in conjunction with the agency in the Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force, the National Missing and Exploited Children, the Georgia state and local agencies led a 2-week operation in August, that was last year, in Atlanta and Macon, Georgia, to rescue endangered missing children. Operation Not Forgotten resulted in 26 children, rescue of 26 children, and safe location for 13 children, and maybe I guess the safe location for 13 children, and the arrest of 9 criminal associates. Additionally, investigators cleared 26 arrest warrants and filed additional charges for alleged crimes: kidnapping, registered sex offenders violations, drugs, weapons charges, custodial interference. 26 warrants cleared, including 19 warrants, for a total of 9 individuals arrested, and some multiple warrants. So that's really, really good. And that's over in, I believe, Beach Bum, you live in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we got these children are not forgotten. These in Tennessee, 150 missing teenagers and recovered in an operation through TBI. I had the opportunity to meet some investigators with TBI and the head of TBI several years ago. He's since left that organization, but he was there. I met them over while we were eating at a place called, well, we're leaving a place in Lynchburg called, well, Dina, I have to tell you what it is. It's an old plantation. They have, you eat in a style, everybody eats at a big table. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation and this Operation Not Forgotten, 2-week operation, and it basically tells the same thing I read, but that at the time, that center guy right there was head over no, I'm thinking about TBI, but this is at GBI and U.S. Marshals. These are main U.S. Marshals in the locations, states they in. They have a U.S. Marshal that resides. You have all of your U.S. Marshals that work, and then you have a U.S. Marshal designated to that. It's more of a political spot, but he is in the whole state. It has to be a presidential appointment to get it. Okay, an investigation of Southern California dubbed Operation Los Angeles found 33 missing children in recent weeks, including 2 youths found multiple times during sex trafficking locations. Oh, wow. This out of FBI's Operation Cross Country rescues 200 human traffic victims, 121 missing children located in FBI trafficking operation. That is amazing. 33 missing children rescued during a human trafficking probe in California, and 45 missing children found, 109 human trafficking survivors rescued in an Ohio operation. And then we have U.S. Marshals operation recovers 16 missing children and uncovers allegations of sex trafficking, agencies say. And 13 children rescued from sex trafficking after Sunday's big game. And I think they're talking about the Super Bowl there. Does anybody have anything to say before I continue? I have just a few more, and then we're going to talk about what I'm going to ask a personal favor for you. Nothing? Okay. All right, this 150 plus missing children found in North Carolina operation. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Now, I have something to show you. Now, I'm hesitant about even putting this on here, but I have 2 things to talk about. One thing is personal in a few minutes, but I'm going to show you this first. A lot of the I'm saying prostitution, pedophiles, where people shop for this type of behavior is out there, and it's perfectly legal for these people, a lot of people, to go into these rooms. And this is not on the dark web. This is actually on the internet. Now, I'm going to show you one called Yes Backpage. They have Backpage, and then they have Yes Backpage. Yes Backpage is a lot, I found, I guess, they kind of pull from that Backpage. Craigslist used to have it. They got sued and they had to take it off. Before you go and look at this stuff, there's a way for you to change your settings on your computer and go into incognito mode. And what that means is it kind of shuffles your your identity back and hides it while you're looking at this. I don't want you to go into these sites and look what's there, but I'll show you what type of stuff is the. I just copied some of it. I couldn't copy it. It was just so bad I couldn't copy it, and it's out there for anybody to see. But you don't want these people to just bombard your computer with all kinds of advertisement of just filthy, filthy stuff. So I just changed when I went in there to copy the screenshot and show you what this is. I wanted to show, I wanted to also you to go into incognito mode, so that you can hide your basic locations, so they're not computers, so they're not sending you stuff. This is the yes back page portion of it, and of course they want you to. I just pulled up Florence Most Shows, and this is just the front side of it. Below this male escorts and is some awful stuff that they got on there. I can't believe that they put that stuff out there. But people go and people see this kind of thing, and I know for a fact that police departments will set this up where you go in and you try to maybe go with a child or work or contact one of these prostitutes on here, then they will set up and try to get you, um, try to get you to meet them in a motel. I know for a fact that when we ran a big operation, it was a prostitution operations. What we did. We busted about 5 or 6 prostitutes, and just a, a matter of just a few minutes. It didn't take long at all. And a lot of prostitutes we found on places like this, and they came to locations thinking they were meeting a John, and they met a police officer. And what happened was, no, it was not me, but it was a lot of the other guys working. We had worked stuff like this in my younger days, but they did, and we found it was unbelievable just what they were involved in. But a lot of what we did, because the judge fines them $25 and lets them go. We know that by arresting the Johns is by far more productive, and putting all of their Johns picture in the paper every time they were arrested was far more get the positive result of them not trying to contact prostitutes in our city. So we hooked up and wired a room with a camera. Well, 2 or 3 cameras actually. We and the we had these girls basically work for us as people would contact them, and they would pay as soon as they said what they wanted and paid the prostitute money. We would run in and arrest them, and we arrested you know we arrested like 30 people in a matter of one afternoon, and we had maybe 6 or 7 guys working the detail, and at a motel, and we would switch motels up, try to find one that is very inexpensive, and the ones that charge by the hour and stuff like that. And we'd arrest them, and then we would put the guys' pictures all in the paper. Didn't matter who they were. Arrested for soliciting prostitution, arrested. We'd find drugs, we'd find people with the warrants, we'd find all of that stuff. And it did slow down the business. That's like when a lot of these people you see get arrested, well-known people get arrested for soliciting prostitution, is because they and I kind of, it's almost not fair, to be honest with you. They'll have a girl that's a woman police officer that's pretty good looking, and most of them are real good looking. And they'll put them out there on the side of the road pretending to be a prostitute. And when the guys say, yeah, she'll say, just pull around the side of the corner there. and the minute they pull around, they stop and arrest the guys, because most of the people working the street are not that they're not the what the as the movie Pretty Woman. They're not like that. They're hooked on drugs. They've been out on the street a long time. They're you know as the saying in the South goes, rode hard and put up wet. It's just they're not the type of person that a normal person would want to go out and date. Some of the more expensive escorts, I know they could be like Pretty Woman, but they charge like $1,000 to $1,500 for a couple hours, and I don't know. I've read about them. We never experienced any of that. I know that when I was working in Huntsville, Alabama as a cop, we were a part of the organized crime bureau, but we were vice narcotics. We had we had a police, unmarked police car we were in this day. I mean, everybody knew it was a police car. We see this girl walking up there, one I haven't recognized before. I was in the passenger seat, my partner was driving. We just turned our radio off, threw our radio, a coat over our radio where it was shielded. I mean, anybody in the world knew it was a police car. We pulled right up to the girl and we asked, uh, uh, she says, "You want a date?" That's what they say. And you say, "Well, how much?" And she says, she looked in our car, looked at us, and I've forgotten now. It was like $25, something like that. Yeah. And for both of us, $50 for both of us, whatever. And being sarcastic like I am sometimes, and we knew we were going to arrest her, I pulled out my badge and I said, "Do you take master badge?" And of course, she freaked out, and we arrested her for soliciting prostitution. And that day anybody should have seen that was a police car, but she just didn't know. But strung out on drugs, needed to do that sort of thing. And basically, she didn't have pimp. That's one thing. When they have a pimp, then they get into the sex trafficking type thing. The pimp takes care of her and stuff like that. Well, that was in Beach Bum. That was in the 80s. Okay. Show you how long ago. I was 23, 24 years old. Okay. Well, we've ended. Tonight's going to be over a little quick. I'm sorry. Dina's over there making me supper. We're here tonight. And if I'm going to be able to eat and halfway decent meal tonight, warm and everything, I'm going to close. However, this is my personal favor from you, okay? First off, a little history. I have suffered with back issues for probably 10 years, and it hasn't gotten any better. I went and got an MRI from one of these big open MRIs where you sit down in the MRI and you have to remain perfectly still for 30 minutes. It's a lot harder. And they did an MRI on me, and they found out that I have a pretty serious back condition in my L5 S1 area, and that's common for guys that wear gun belts a lot or hit something heavy like a gun on your waist. And for over the years, firemen, policemen, it's just chronic. But they said that it was serious. So my back pain doctor told me that he wants me to see a back surgeon to get back surgery. And what I'm interested in finding out, if any of y'all know or would trust a real good surgeon that does minimal invasive surgery. I'm talking about having the maybe incision a couple inches long, not the big, not the neurologist. Not, there's some back. They have the smaller invasive, maybe laser or something type of surgery. Somebody that you can say, man, I wouldn't go with anybody else. This guy's greatest. Since we are in an RV, we can go anywhere in the nation. No, Beach Mom doesn't give me a problem when driving. I drove 5 hours up here to Tennessee. Never had a problem. I have very soft seats, and we have a air ride. Our RV is on air cushions, so it's air ride. Yeah, I'm not looking for fusion. Chaba, I appreciate you coming back. I'm not looking for a fusion. They say, I don't know. I'm looking for a good doctor that's one. I want good bedside manner because I'm gonna be freaked out when all this is going on. Two, that is good. That everybody says this doctor fixed me up. I'm, no problems. Three, that the limit that possibly day surgery. I've read about even uh day surgery. Oh, neuropathy. No, I don't want that. Now, Tony, that's been on here a few times, he said back surgery twice. First time, he had a guy give it to him, but he said his bedside manner was horrible and he had a God complex. So even though he's a great surgeon, I'm just not there yet. I can't go to somebody who has a God complex. I have they won't, some of them do not keep you 24 hours. No. And listen, I'm not being prideful and I'm not bragging. This is, please don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that. I don't want God to punish me for it. But I have been solely blessed and highly favored by God that I've never spent one night in the hospital. Not one. I'm 67 years old. I'll tell you right there. So, I want a great surgeon. Most of them say that you will not have to stay in the hospital. If I do, I do. I'm not afraid to stay in the hospital. What I'm saying is we need, if there's a surgeon in, you know, uh, yeah, if you can give me his name, what type of surgery he does, I'll be glad to contact him. I don't mind going to California. I don't mind going to up north or down or even in Florida. There's several in Florida that do the laser surgery. I'm sorry, guys, that just went off for a second. If tell me that they've had surgery personally or someone in their family and saying, yes, this person need one you need to go to, and he'll be the one to take care of you. If you could email me at the missing live stream at gmail.com, the missing live stream at gmail.com. Let me know. Let me know what if you have an idea of what I can do. Um, Lorianne, they have my doctor and the MRI. I don't think there's any non-surgical alternatives they can do. I've had, it, the MRI said that I have a severe condition. So I don't think that's going to be something I can do. Um, Let me know if you could email me. I sure would appreciate it. Peachtree Orthopedics, um, TS Jackson. Send me an email if you would. Let me know what they did and what do you think. If you think I need to go and at least have someone look at it, I would appreciate it. And yes, you got Dina's text number there, text her. But if y'all and any other way, um, put it in an email to us at the missing livestream at gmail.com. What about PRP? It's your own stem cells. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the surgery I need. I'm not sure if that is the um if they can even do it. But anyway, send that to me. and let me know about it. I'll look it up. Believe me. No, that 8-inch scar is not what I want to get involved in. Hopefully not, because that can have lasting effects. Most people I talk to, I'm more favored right now with a yes. That's exactly TS. Though I'm more favored right now with a doctor in Mobile uh, that had did surgery on a couple of people that I heard from, and they just said that he did great work. There's a couple in Vanderbilt that I haven't talked to, but have got unbelievable um, reviews. But now here's the problem: my insurance is Medicare with a supplement, and a lot of these people do not take that. So I don't know. So anyway, food for thought. I don't want to go over it. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we can discuss here, but that's not what I want to do. I'd rather hear from you in an email, and if you can do that for me, I have not had nerve block shots. I take some medication that helps me get me by, but I need something that's going to help me permanent, not you know. But anyway, I do appreciate it, and prayers for me. Hey, I'll take them. And let's talk about this. Hopefully after it's done, but I can wait to after the summer to have it done if it doesn't increase. But there's actually some bad stuff that can happen to me if if it becomes worse. Put it that way. My health, I might, just some really bad stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you being here. We love you, and God bless you, and we'll hope to see you next time. And we'll start looking. I'm gonna start doing something on Thursday night. I mean, on Tuesday night, a little something that will be in a video rather than a live stream, and then in reference this one on Thursday night. I'm gonna probably try to start that next week. I just didn't feel like this week with everything's going on. So God bless y'all. We hope to see you next time. Good night.